In this video, we're talking about the ASUS Republic of Gamers Strix Scar 2 GL704, and this is coming from a graphic designer's perspective. If you're new to the channel, my name is Benji Kaiser. I've been in the graphic design industry for a little under a decade, and I've seen myself more recently in the past few years leaning towards video editing and motion design, as I've seen needs for that from some of my clients and personally in my career. So if you're also a video editor or a motion designer, this review is fantastic for you. If you're new to the channel, I definitely recommend subscribing. Now, as we're going through this video, if this laptop interests you at all or you're curious about the current market price, you can grab a link in the description below to either Computer Upgrade Kings or Amazon. Now, those are affiliate links and it will give me a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. Now, if you use Computer Upgrade Kings, they've hooked us up with a discount code BEN3, and you can get a discount on the Strix Scar 2 or any laptop or machine over on Computer Upgrade Kings. So that's a huge benefit, and we really appreciate Computer Upgrade Kings. Like I said in this interview, it's gonna be coming from a graphic designer with complementary skills in video editing and motion design. And the way I like to review computers is I like to look at four main areas. Let's start off by talking about the experience. When I first pulled this machine out of the box, I was pleasantly greeted by a nice aluminum top cover. Now, the thing that I was really impressed by that is a lot of gaming laptops, that are considered great for graphic design often feel kind of clunky and they feel kind of cheap in a sense, just because they're trying to put so much power in such a small body that they often overlook a lot of the build quality, and they just try and stuff all that power in there to keep costs down. Well, what I love about this machine is they haven't chinched on the quality of the build. It's a very solid machine. One test I often do is I'll push between the two brackets where the screen goes up and down to see if there's a lot of flex there. If there's a lot of flex there, then I know the machine isn't really well put together. But with the ASUS Strix II, I found that there was little flex, and really throughout the entire machine, it felt very sturdy. And so that's one thing I was really impressed by, especially if you're somebody who's going to be using this laptop on the go. You won't be too worried about damaging it as you move around. This is a pretty big laptop. It's a 17-inch laptop, so this isn't my top recommendation for maybe a student or a professional who's always on the go, going from place to place, class to class, whatever it may be, but it is well built, so if you are going to be somebody who's traveling around, it's a great laptop. It weighs in at a little over 6 pounds. It's a little heavy. It's actually a little bit thicker than the original Strix, but it's smaller in length and width, which is really neat because it's going to be a little bit smaller to get in a backpack or shoulder bag, whatever you may have. Now, if you're out on the town, how long can you expect this battery to last? Well, just surfing the internet with kind of a medium screen brightness, you're gonna be able to get about 3 hours and 55 minutes out of this battery, which is not a lot. So I would definitely recommend bringing that charger along. And that charger, it's a serious charger, so make sure you have room in your bag for that charger. I was surprised how big that block was. Now, as I opened the computer, I was pleasantly surprised by some strong polyurethane, and I had a kind of a carbon fiber finish. It has a really nice touch than just that standard kind of shiny polymer finish that you see on some more cheaper laptops. The keyboard is really nice to type on. I was pleasantly surprised by that. Had really good key travel. They felt nice and soft. A lot of times on some keyboards, they don't really press far, so you don't really get that feeling that you're like typing each key. For instance, the new MacBook Pros, I'm really not fond of the way that the keys type. You can barely tell that you hit them. This had some really good travel. It was very quiet when I was typing, so I really enjoyed that keyboard. The trackpad is great as well. I have a Dell XPS 15, and the trackpad is probably my biggest complaint. It's just very unresponsive. It doesn't really click where you want it to, and it's just kind of cumbersome. Where the trackpad is very responsive, very accurate, and the left and right click are very nice. They have a good amount of travel as well, so you really know when you got that click. It's kind of a weird thought because those are simple things that you just kind of do every day, but you often lose track of how important those things are because you do them every day. All right, now let's talk about the screen. It's actually the same size as the original Strix, but what they've done is they've kind of rearranged the bezel to make it look a little bit bigger. They've moved a lot of the bezel to the bottom portion of the screen where the webcam is, which leaves the sides and the top thinner, which for me creates a better user experience. It feels less chunky. All right, now let's talk about color accuracy. And color accuracy is something that's really important to me as a graphic designer, and I'm sure if you're a graphic designer, video editor, or motion designer, it's important to you too. If you don't know how color accuracy is gauged, I'll drop a quick lesson. So the way that color accuracy is gauged is the amount or the percent of RGB gamut that your screen can see, that your screen can produce. And so basically 0 being the least and 100% being the most. The Strix II has 87% RGB color space. So you're getting up into that upper echelon of color range, and so this would be a great screen for color accuracy as a graphic designer. All right, now let's talk about the usability, and I've already kind of hit on this a little bit earlier in the video, and that's thinking about what your day-to-day is going to look like. Are you a student who's going to be traveling from class to class? Are you a freelance photographer who's going to be going on location? You're going to want to be bringing your computer to upload photos, check your lighting, etc. You know, what are you doing? What's your day-to-day? So that's something I really love to emphasize with people, especially with this 17-inch laptop, because it is not something that's easy to carry on. You know, it's not a MacBook Air, which you could, almost put in your pocket sometimes, I feel like. So that's something you really want to consider is what are you going to be using this computer for? The second thing I want to consider with usability is what ports you're going to be needing on the side of your computer. This computer is stacked. It comes with 4 USB ports, a USB-C port, it comes with an SD card reader, HDMI port, display port, network jack, and a headphone jack, all on the side of this computer. All right, now number 3, a big reason that a lot of you I'm sure hear is the performance. So the performance of this computer is well suited for graphic designer. I recommend having 16 gigs of RAM, an i7 processor, and at least a GTX 1050 graphics processing unit with a solid state hard drive. And this computer has it all and beyond. So it has the 16 gigs, it has the i7, it has the solid state hard drive, but it also has an RTX 2070 graphics processing unit. Now, where this comes in really high in the benefit is if you're going to be doing video editing or motion design. So the rendering is going to be much faster with this RTX 2070, as well as the playback in, say, Premiere Pro or, say, in After Effects. And so as a graphic designer, if you're looking like you're going to head that way, if you're looking like you're going to be moving into video editing or motion design, then this is definitely the computer for you. It runs a lot cooler inside Premiere Pro, inside After Effects, and something that's very important. Just to give you some specs, it can export a 10-minute 4K clip in about 40 minutes. It can export a 10-minute 4K clip to 1080p in about 7 minutes. Now, those aren't really huge bursting out of the water numbers, and in fact, I've done a review between the GTX 1070 and the RTX 2070. You can check out that video in the YouTube cards above, or the description below, and that's comparing the Strix versus the Strix II. But I will say where the 2070 wins is that rendering and that playback. So it beat the Strix, which had the 1070, by 2 hours on an exponential rendering time. The RTX 2070 also beat the GTX 1070 on the playback. The GTX 1070 was only able to play back at 1/8 quality in that Premiere Pro window, where the RTX was able to play back at full quality with no other windows open, mind it, and half quality with other windows open, say Photoshop, your Chrome web browser, etc. So as you see, having that RTX 2070 allows for a lot better workflow, and having the GTX 1070 allows you to not do as many tasks at the same time. All right, now let's jump into build quality. Build quality for me has always been of utmost importance. So when I pulled this computer out, like I said, I was very impressed by the aluminum top cover. It had very strong components with the polyurethane, and it didn't have any flex or any push or any really give anywhere. So I was pleasantly surprised at the build quality, because this is such a big machine, and as you spread out weight, it can often flex and turn, but I did not see that with this computer. So the build quality is excellent, and you're not going to go wrong here. Like I said, the trackpad and the clicks were very nice, the keyboard was very smooth, so overall I really had no complaints with this computer. It's also really cool, you get the little color bar in the front. There's some really cool touches on this computer that set it apart from the last Strix and many other computers in the market. Once again, if you're interested in this computer, you can head down to the description below, grab one of those links, either to computer upgrades with the discount code BEN3 or 2-day shipping over at Amazon with those affiliate links. Again, those are affiliate links, and it does give me a small commission, but at no extra cost to you, but that's what keeps this channel alive. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, hit the like button as well. Double tap that dislike button if you haven't enjoyed the content. My name is Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com, and I will see you on the next episode.